Welcome to Fit Fellas. Great to have you on board. My name's Anthony Spark. I'm going to be your coach for the next 8 weeks and possibly beyond. So firstly, I want to say congratulations on making the decision to do something about your health and your well-being. And over the next 8 weeks, we're going to start very simply, very easily. But by the end of the 8 weeks, we're going to increase the intensity of the exercises that we're doing so that you get some real results in your health and fitness. The 2 elements we're going to work on every week. Exercise is one of them, nutrition is the other one. So let's start with nutrition for week 1. There are 2 things that I want you to think about as far as your food intake goes for this week. The first item is do not change your diet right away. We're going to leave your diet exactly the way it is, but what I am going to ask you to do is everything you put in your mouth, you chew it up until it becomes like liquid before you swallow. And we're doing that for a few simple reasons. Firstly, your stomach was not designed to break down chunks of food. Your mouth is designed to break down chunks of food so that when it hits the stomach, it's in a form that the stomach can add some chemicals and start breaking it down further so it can be absorbed into your body, and we can use the nutrients accordingly. When we don't chew our food properly and we just kind of swallow chunks of meat, it goes into your stomach and your stomach's trying to break that food down, but it's not very successful at it. So we wind up being bloated, we fart a lot, and we burp a lot, so we're not very pleasant to be around. So just by chewing your food properly, you're going to find that your bloating is going to decrease and your gut circumference will start to come down. The other thing is you'll find you'll get a sore jaw from chewing that much because this is quite an unusual practice. As I said, normally we chew kind of 2-3 times before we swallow. You're going to be chewing an awful lot more than that. The other thing that happens is you feel satiated faster when you chew your food properly, so you won't need to finish an entire meal. And I want you to give yourself permission to not finish everything on your plate if you don't want to. If you get halfway or 3/4 of the way through a meal and say, you know what, I've had enough, stop eating. You don't need to continue to put the calories into your body when your body said, no, I've had enough. So step 1, chew your food. Step 2 is drink 2 litres of water every day throughout the day. That's not 2 litres of water right before you go to bed. It's 2 litres of water that we're just sipping throughout the day. Our bodies are 70% water and our head, our brain is 90% water. So you want to make sure that your body and your brain are hydrated right throughout the day because they're going to function better. You can imagine if your blood is mostly water and we start dehydrating because we sweat and we talk and we urinate and we effectively lose water throughout the day. If you're not replenishing that water, your blood pumping around your body gets thicker. It's harder to pump blood around the body when it's viscous and thick than it is when you're well hydrated. So do your body a favour, drink water. The other things that will happen when you drink enough water is you'll feel less hungry. Sometimes the stimulus that the body sends us, the message to say I'm hungry, is in fact I'm thirsty, I just need some water, but you're not listening to me. So I'll tell you I'm hungry and hope that I get some fluid out of the food that you're giving me. So give your body the opportunity of saying, thank you, I don't need food, what I need is actually water. All of your bodily functions will work an awful lot better with water. Yes, you will need to go to the bathroom more often. Bad luck, that is the consequence. You'll drink less caffeinated products, less soft drink and less energy drinks if you're drinking enough water. So that's our nutrition taken care of for this week. Go through that process every single day. Remind yourself that these are the things that you need to do. From an exercise perspective, today all we're going to focus on, Monday, Wednesday and Friday are our exercise days. Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday are our cardiovascular days. So today our focus is going to be on 2 elements, posture and breathing. I know that's not a lot of hard work, but we're going to start with building a really strong foundation so that everything that you do stems from an area of strength. If we start loading you up with activities when we haven't got your posture right, we haven't got your breathing right, and then later on in the week we haven't activated the right muscles, then we wind up hurting you before you even get started. So first things first is your posture. I want you to imagine you've got a book resting on your head, that your shoulders are down and back, and that you're aware of this area below your belly button. So from your belly button down, you can feel those muscles. If you were to look at me from the side, and you might want to do this where you're standing with your heels against a wall, your glutes against a wall, your shoulder blades against the wall, and your head against the wall, and we want all of that in alignment. That's the type of posture we're looking for. Now what you'll find in that posture is you might get a little bit of a double chin, and that's okay, it's just you, not a big deal. But the other thing we find is quite often we've got a bit of a duck bum, which means we've got this massive space between our bum and our back that you could drive a truck through if you were standing against a wall. We don't necessarily want that. We want there to be enough room for you to fit your hand in that area, not your whole forearm. So if that's an issue for you, what you need to think about is those muscles below your belly button, just tighten them until you become a relatively flat back with what we call a neutral spine, so a nice little curve in your lower back. That means we're going to start activating these muscles at the front more often, and we're going to put you in ideal posture. The reason I want you in ideal posture is that all of your exercises should be performed with great posture, and whenever you start getting tired or run down and we want to slump into poor posture, I want you to go to a place of strength whenever you start getting tired, which means you go back to ideal posture, put your body in the best position to be injury-free and to be at its absolute strongest. We work better when we're in great posture. Given the amount of work that we do, which is frontal related, so a lot of us are working on a computer or we're driving a car or we're in this sort of posture, quite often this type of thing happens. We get the rounded shoulders and the forward head carriage. So what I want you to do is really think about bringing your head up and sitting your ear hole right on top of your shoulders, which is quite a strange feeling when you start doing, but after a while it'll become quite natural and you'll get quite used to it. If you need an exercise specific for your posture, what I'm going to ask you to do is stand against a wall in that great posture, and then leave your head against the wall but move your feet forward, take your hips off the wall, take your shoulders off the wall, but put it back so it's almost touching the wall. So you're leaning back with only your head touching the wall and a little bit of your body weight pushing against the wall. What will happen is, and you'll only do this for 10 seconds to start with, and then you'll increase it by 5 seconds per day. What that will do is it will strengthen the muscles here at the back of your neck, which are responsible for pulling you upwards, and as they get stronger and they get used to holding on for longer periods of time, your upright posture will become so much more natural. So posture is crucial. I really want you working on it every day. So every hour on the hour, check yourself, make sure your posture's good. I'm not asking for any extra time on these days. I just want you to set an alarm for every hour to say, just check your posture, see where you're at with it. At the same time as checking your posture, I want you to think about your breathing. Now, I know you breathe all day long, so again, no extra time required for this, but when you breathe, what most of us in Western society do is we breathe into our chest. So we take a deep breath in and we go, and our stomach goes in and our chest goes out. Which, if we think about this logically, you suck your stomach in, you're pushing your organs up into your chest cavity, and then you're asking your lungs to expand into an area where organs are already being pushed into. It doesn't make sense. So what we find often is we get really smashed through the muscles in our upper back and get really tight here because these muscles start to try and expand and contract as we're breathing, which doesn't make sense at all. So if you find you get quite tight across your upper back, maybe it's the breathing pattern. So what I want you to think about doing is when you take a deep breath in, is breathe in right into the bottom of your abdominal area and allow your stomach to expand as you breathe in. So the first 2/3 of our breath is right down into the bottom of our abdominals, and then the last third is into our chest sideways or laterally. So a deep breath in, allow the gut to come out, and then breathing out, we're going to draw your belly button in towards your spine. So deep breath in, and breathe out. I want you to do 10 diaphragmatic breaths every hour on the hour. If you're driving your car and you stop at a red light, I want you to do 10 diaphragmatic breaths. Every time you think of it, do 10 diaphragmatic breaths. A couple of things are going to happen. Firstly, you might find you get a little bit lightheaded when you start doing it because your body's not used to the amount of oxygen you're delivering to it in one go. You will get used to it. If you find you get a little bit lightheaded, stop the breathing and resume it sometime when you feel better. But getting the breathing right is crucial because we want to activate those deep abdominal muscles to have them working all day, every day. In our society, because we spend a lot of time sitting on our backside on the couch, those muscles aren't being required to work, they get lazy and don't service the way they should. So, from the get-go, we're looking at nutrition. We're going to chew our food till it becomes like liquid before we swallow. We're going to drink 2 litres of water right throughout the day. Our exercises for today is making sure that your posture is nice and upright and doing your postural exercises required and breathing diaphragmatically all day long. Hope you have an outstanding day. What I'd like you to do is post below once you've done your exercises. Give yourself a rating from 1 to 10 on how you feel before you do your posture exercises, and then a rating on 1 to 10 on how you feel after the exercises. The other thing I'm going to ask you to do is whatever your worst meal is traditionally, if breakfast is normally rubbish for you, or lunch you eat way too much, or dinner's just the wrong sorts of food, I want you to take a photo of whatever your worst meal for the day is and load it into the group. We're doing this because you are being held accountable by the group to make sure that you make great decisions for your health and well-being. If you're having a Tim Tam and a coffee and a cigarette at 11 o'clock in the morning and calling that breakfast, let's expose that beast and let's provide the opportunity for us all to give some feedback about that. So post in the group. Any questions you have, put it in the group, tag me in it. Love to hear what you're doing, as soon as you start posting it, so I'll be alerted every time you put something onto Facebook. Have a great week. If you need anything, reach out, and I'll see you tomorrow. Cheers.